Hey guys, some Gamer Dude here. So today we're going to look at the win cards. I have to fully admit, unlike the other ones, this is not basically my second time reading, and the first time was just a glimpse through. This is actually my second time reading them properly, or my third time at all, because I kind of made such a grave error in my first video. I couldn't release it the way it was. It had such bad misinformation because I'd totally forgotten how something works in Force of Will. So, let's begin. Chamimi is basically a ripoff of a Moogle. That's the Mimi tribe I mean. They even copies the Kupo thing with me at the end. Judgment is 5. It's really... it's green. It might have ramp into it, so it might not hurt as bad as it looks. But right now, it looks pretty freaking awful. And Chamimi, Guardian of the Sacred Bow, I really hope that doesn't mean Regalia is coming back. Hope it's a standard edition and it has a cost. 1010, got a tiger on its head for some reason. And its effect is just Resonators gain +4/+4. Well, your ones. It's a very basic ability. It seems very much for people coming new into the game. It's something I'd expect on a budget card or something for new players. It really doesn't feel like it does anything. It does do something, and it's going to cause grief at some time if you can build around it or something. I'm just not sold on it. It just doesn't do much for me. It's really hard to judge. It's like it's not impressive. It's not, oh, this is big and strong and it's gonna smash through things. But if Green gets such massive amounts of power, this is just more and more and more. It could be decent, but then again, it's just killed by control anyway. Just pop something and kill it. It really depends on how the meta plays out, and I honestly don't know the Raya cluster well enough to say whether this is completely garbage or not, but it doesn't look good. I'll leave it at that. Next up, we have Fairy of the Lost Isles. Nice art. 4/4 for green, flying. Banish this card and pay green to draw a card. It's alright. Interesting she has a tail, but very much more anime art compared to everything else in this set we've seen so far. Do you want to just pay green? Well, to be 2 green and cycle this, or later on if you don't need it, pay green and cycle it to draw a card. Do you really want to? I'm not sure, but flying 4/4 for 1 is pretty good by itself. Pygmy Hippo is 6/6 for 1, but it's got a restriction. Enter, reveal a beast from your hand, or pay 2. If you don't, banish this card. That's interesting because it promotes a heavy beast deck. I think that could happen. I actually don't think this is a bad card at all. But it doesn't do anything beyond I am beats. But if the whole thing is I am beats, it's not a bad thing to be. And keep in mind, it's a 10/9 for 1 when you flip. So, as that actually, I like this idea of restrictions to lower cost as long as it's not 0. Instead of making thing ramp and that, it's actually a really nice twist on the whole playing with will idea. Next up, Mu, the hero of the Great Shield, a 6/6 for 2 with no effect. But he looks pretty cool. Sanctuary Elephant, this is the card I had the problem with. It's a 10/10 for 3, but you have to banish one of your stones to bring it out. So it costs you pretty hefty. It's nice art. It's really nice art, actually. But it's... Again, all you're getting is a beta. You're losing a stone for it. So you're a turn behind. It really depends on the rest of the deck to make this worth it. If there's things to bring out stones, it doesn't look quite as bad. But as it is, I really wouldn't run it regardless. It's strong, but that's all it's got going for it. It doesn't have any forward momentum. Next up, an 8/8 for 3 Grand Mallet Warrior. She's a little cutie. Does the rule have the little horn things? I didn't notice. Yeah, it does. The actual cards look a lot nicer than the ruler, which is unusual. Enter target resonator gains +8/+8, which it's fine for 4. It's if it had flash, it'd be a lot better, but it's fine because it doesn't have swiftness. It can't go in, so it gives up the power to something else, which I don't think is bad. And if you really are focusing on a lot of buffs, I don't think this is bad at all. And next up, we have Explorer of the Unknown, a Divinity 3 1-cost rune. You may pay greenless to play this card from your rune area, so it becomes a 0, but it's Divinity 3. I honestly think this is a bit more balanced than the light one, also because it really doesn't do much. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. You may reveal a wind resonator among them and put it in your hand. Put the rest in the bottom of your deck in any order. It's just a replacement, even from the rune deck. It's just, yeah, it is a selective +1 from a 5 pool, which it's not bad. Depends on how many wind resonators to make sure how likely this is. But it's still Divinity 3. That's a huge chunk out of your rune deck. That is a huge chunk out of it. Next up, we have Song of Fairies, a Divinity 1 3-cost that becomes a 4-cost counterspell from the rune deck. But it's a 3-cost counterspell. I believe we had in Grim counterspell at 3, so I think because of ramp, they make counterspells cost 1 more than Magic, because in Magic it's in blue, which doesn't ramp. And I also disagree with how they've handled counterspells in Magic. I honestly think counterspell to blue is fine, but I think this is fine too. It's still 4 for a cancel, 3 from your hand. It's fine. The Forgotten Sanctuary Lost Isles, a red and a 1. A green and a 1. And your Mimi tribes gain +2/+2. That includes your ruler. Again, if you're going for a pure Mimi deck and you just want all the buffs, that's not so bad. But it really depends on whether you really want all the buffs. Would you rather pay 2 for this and not do anything on turn 2? Or would you rather use that 4-drop that'll give something +8/+8 for the turn? It really depends on what you're doing. You can use both. But again, it depends. Is the game slow enough to warrant additions like this? I don't think it is. I really don't think so. And then the Magic Stone of Adventure. Produce green and tap it and pay green. Target Mimi Tribe games +2/+2 turn to turn. I actually don't think this is bad at all. Yes, it's a 2-cost for a 2/2. That seems hefty, but you can use it whenever you want. And that makes it pretty good. It's just like having an extra card in your hand all the time. Yeah, it's half the power of Giant Growth, but it's still good. I like it. And it's the only card so far to mention Shiva. And that's it for Wind. I'm sorry, this one's much quicker than the other videos. Again, I've already looked through them. I don't really have to think as much. I just have to regurgitate what I said before. I don't know if I'll upload the previous... No, I can't upload it. I already deleted it. But this has been some Gaming Dude. Honestly, I mentioned how I ranked the colours so far in the block video. So I look forward to that tomorrow. And I'll see you guys next video.